Welcome to the weekend roundup. I'm Peter Apple. That's Jack McMullen. We're going to give you a synopsis of every series from the weekend at hand. Welcome to the Just Baseball Show. It is Monday, July 8th. Jack, you don't like synopsis? What is it?
I don't think that's a word. I think the word is synopsis. I think synapse is a word and synopsis is a word. I don't think synapsis is a word.
We're already off to a great start, and this episode is
Yeah,
brought
how
to
was
you
your
by
weekend, Peter?
Who cares now? It's ruined. This is brought to you by BetMGM, the king of sportsbooks. Remember, folks, download BetMGM on iOS or Android by using code JustBaseball. Why? You get a first bet offer up to $1,500 back in bonus bets if it loses. So what does that mean? Well, if you use code JustBaseball and you place a bet and it loses, you'll get it back 1500 up to 1500 in bonus. If you win, nothing happens. It's an absolute no-brainer. But remember, gambling problem, call or text 1-800-GAMBLER. Must be 21 or older. Terms and conditions apply. I had a great weekend. You know
That's good.
why? You know
Why?
why? I
Why?
did absolutely nothing except watch baseball all weekend long. I
Yeah.
literally sat on my couch from the 1 p.m. games all the way to the end and just watched baseball all weekend. It was phenomenal.
So, can I say a little weird that you didn't have the second screen viewing for Spain, Germany, and then England, or no, France, and who did France play? Portugal. You didn't do that on Saturday
Not even a little bit. I think soccer is
or Friday.
probably 198th on my list of priorities. Never been a soccer guy. I would go baseball over it by
Can
far.
you give me something in like the 90s or like 110s? Like what is in the 110s in terms of your priority power ranking?
That's such a good question. I would
Like like
say,
would you say the ferns in the park 2 blocks from your apartment? Like are those higher for you than soccer? The
for
well-being of
example,
those ferns.
I
Yeah.
would say putting a lemon wedge in my water is higher on the priority
Higher.
list, and I don't even do that often.
Okay, just to tie a bow on this, synapse, a junction between two nerve cells consisting of a minute gap across which impulses pass by diffusion of a neurotransmitter. Synapsis is a word,
Bang.
but
Suck it.
it means the fusion of chromosome pairs at the start of meiosis, and synopsis means a brief summary or general survey of something. So we're doing the synopsis, and
So
I'm
was
in
I
on
even
that.
close? I feel like I was close.
You were close. Yeah,
I
you
was
were off by a
close.
letter. You're good.
All right, let's talk baseball, something I actually am good at. We're gonna start series by series, give you the weekend roundup. Round them up. All right, let's start with Phillies versus Braves. This series was awesome, and the
I thought I was going
Braves.
first. Hold
You are
on,
going
man.
first. I'm already
What are we
screwing
going?
up the entire episode. Jack is gonna go first with his games. I'm gonna have a takeaway. Then I'm gonna go with my games. He's gonna have a takeaway, and that'll go. I'm already off to a horrible start.
That's crazy, but it's good to hear that you had a good weekend. So I'm very proud of you for having a good weekend. We're going to start with the Mets and the Pirates in Pittsburgh, and that is a 4-game set. It wraps up today. I think it's a 12:35 first pitch today on Monday afternoon. But game one went to the Pirates in a fashion in which you could not imagine. 14-2, the Pirates got the win on Friday. 7 home runs. The Pirates Twitter account said that they ran out of fireworks. So you got to contact Mr. and Mrs. Zambelli for that. The Zambelli fireworks show, I guess, on the Allegheny. Didn't supply enough for the Homer Fest that they teed off on the Mets with 7 homers. Rowdy Tellez, 2 homers, including a grand slam. Brian Reynolds, new All-Star, by the way, 2 homers, including a grand slam. Jack Sawinski, Yasmani Grandal, Michael A. Taylor, all homered. So the Pirates had 7 homers in the game without O'Neill Cruz, Ke'Bryan Hayes, or Nick Gonzalez going yard. Paul Skeens, by the way, 7 innings, 4 hits, 2 runs, 2 walks, 8 Ks. Skeens, in his first 10 big league starts, is now 5-0 with a 2.12 ERA. Mentioned Reynolds and Skeens. Congrats to both on the All-Star nod. And programming note, we're not going to break down the All-Star rosters today. We're going to do that on tomorrow's show because we want to get through the roundup. So that was the longest I will go on a single game at this point. Game two, 5-2 New York, a 3-run double from Luis Torrens. Bailey Falter lasted just 2 innings plus before he got lifted with posterior arm issues. So we'll see what that means for Falter. Game three, 3-2 New York, scoreless through 7. An RBI double from Brandon Nimmo in the top of the 8th. Then Nicky G had a 2-run single in the bottom of the 8th, but then Francisco Lindor, the snub, had a 2-run single, the go-ahead single in the top of the ninth inning. Sean Manaea and Luis Ortiz both went 6 shutout innings. Ortiz sporting a 2.96 ERA on the year. Aroldis Chapman blew the save. He got the loss. By the way, related, David Bednar, according to Ben Cherington, is scheduled to start a rehab assignment possibly later this week. So that will be a big help. But I think it was that Homer Fest on Friday that stood out.
Yeah, 100%. That was the big takeaway. I had 2 takeaways about Lindor getting snubbed and congratulating Paul Skeens on being the first #1 overall pick to be named an All-Star in the same season. But we're going to
Next
save
season.
all of
Yeah.
that. Excuse me, next season. We're going to save all of that for tomorrow's show. I just had one takeaway, and it's more just appreciating Sean Manaea. Because in this series, it was bombs away. It was clearly Paul Skeens doing Paul Skeens shit. And I've already mentioned Luis Ortiz, right? That was already a takeaway from previous Pirates series, giving him his flowers. So I wanted to give Sean Manaea his flowers. He came over to the Mets, and it was one of those kind of, short-term deals that kind of nobody cared about, but he has been excellent for the Mets. 3.43 ERA in 89 innings. He's racking up the strikeouts. If the Mets decide to sell, I think he could get them a pretty penny. And if they don't, he's been a great pitcher for them all season long. I just wanted to give him his flowers. Mid-3s ERA, almost 100 innings for him. Good for you, Sean Manaea.
Shouldn't sell.
I know.
Sneaky. They shouldn't sell, which is like crazy, man. All right, we'll jump to Detroit and Cincinnati here. Detroit, pardon, sweeps in Cincinnati. Game 1, 5-4 Detroit. Colt Keith had a multi-homer day. Parker Meadows and Riley Green join him. Spencer Steer homered for Cincinnati. Reese Olson, 5 2/3, 1 run, or 1 earned, pardon. He K'd 8. Cincy made it close with 2 in the bottom of the ninth, but, too little, too late. Game 2, Detroit again, 5-3. Cincinnati had 2 in the bottom of the 5th, but then a 5 spot for Detroit in the top of the 8th, including a 2-run homer for Wenzel Perez. Steer homered for the 2nd game in a row. Hunter Green was awesome. 7 shutout, 3 hits, 7 Ks, but the Tigers win a bullpen day. Game 3 was anything but a bullpen day. 5-1 Detroit. Detroit out hit Cincinnati 12-4, but Tarek Skubal was the story of probably the weekend. The left-hander, 7 innings, 3 hits, 1 run, 13 Ks, a career high, and no walks. Detroit had a 3 spot in the 8th to pull away, but man, Skubal, that was like as good a pitching performance as we've had this year.
100%. And especially to sweep a team, because we know how hard it is to sweep a team at home. So to get a Skubal performance like that, that was my big takeaway. Just absolutely dominant. And when he's filling it up at the top of the zone with that changeup, it's almost impossible to hit him, because even if you know what's coming, the stuff is still too damn electric. But my maybe not bigger takeaway, but something that I really wanted to talk about. What a missed opportunity by the Reds. You sweep the Yankees. You're starting to get hot a little bit, right? It looks like the Reds are finally coming to start to play. And they get swept by the Tigers at home. That's how the Reds season has felt for me this entire year. I don't know if you share the same. As soon as it looks like they're starting to get it going, it all comes crashing down. This was the perfect opportunity. You sweep the Yankees. You go home. You get a team like the Tigers that was just getting their shit rocked by the Minnesota Twins and have been struggling. This is when you pounce. This is when you build win streaks. This is when you get back into the wild card hunt. And what do? They get swept. I don't know about you. Felt like a dagger. Not straight to the heart, but they're stabbing you in the chest and they're getting closer to the heart.
Yeah, so what I will say is I totally hear you on that. I was actually kind of looking at the Reds' upcoming schedule in the macro, where it's like, okay, you sweep the Yankees in New York, then you go home, you take on Detroit. If I'm not mistaken, the next 2 series before the break are Colorado and Miami.
Yeah.
Like
They play
Detroit.
Colorado next, yeah.
Yeah, and Detroit, I don't think it's unfair. I don't think I unfairly clumped them into Colorado and Miami, but like Colorado and Miami, those look like slam dunk easy series wins.
Yeah, like Tigers aren't in that boat, but you want to win that
But
series.
they're close.
And you
They're
should win
close.
that
Yeah.
series. Yes,
you should win, especially at home. I think that like
yes,
home field advantage in a series between the Reds and the Tigers certainly matters. And like, yeah, were you going to cough up the Scooble start? Probably. Like the
probably.
Tigers are probably going to win that game,
You
but
cannot lose the Hunter Green start.
you
You just
cannot,
can't.
especially when there's a bullpen game on the other side. Like
Yes.
Faedo went to Green went 7 shutouts, and you lose that game.
He's been
Can't happen.
fantastic. The Reds just can't win his starts. I don't know why. They don't give him run support. And when they do, he has his rough outings. It's you gotta win the Hunter Green starts. Like the
Yeah.
Tigers, you gotta win the Scooble starts. You won them. Like shout out the Tigers. This is not we're not trying to bag on the Tigers here. But this was more of an indictment on the Reds than it was a testament to the Tigers, in my opinion, watching this series. It was more Reds, are you serious? Other than, wow, the Tigers are on a great run right now.
Yeah, I'm totally with you on that front. So I think we perfectly align on that. And like, hey man, credit to the Tigers for going in and
Yeah.
sweeping. I don't think they're gonna hang around to the point where like they look at Flaherty and say, oh, maybe he sticks around at the deadline. I don't think that's happening. This was way bigger for Cincinnati than it
Yeah.
was for Detroit. I
I
do.
agree.
But we'll jump to a series that am I being too harsh when I say meant nothing in the grand scheme of Major League Baseball in Miami? White Sox, Marlins.
I think that's the nicest way to put it.
Yeah, like
I gave that series to you because
oh,
I
thanks,
didn't want to
man.
round it up. I didn't want to
Yeah,
round.
no, that's great. That's
Yeah.
great. So I'm
There you
gonna round it up, and I'm
go.
gonna do the
Okay.
fingers involved. But Miami won the series 2-1. Game one went to the White Sox 3-2. Nicky Lopez had 2 doubles. Sick. Drew Thorpe was good. Drew Thorpe 6 and a third, 3 hits, 1 run. He K'd 5 and walked 2. Thorpe continues to look comfortable in the
Yeah.
big leagues, which is like very cool to see. Game two, Miami 4-3. 2-run seventh, thanks to a 2-run shot from Dane Myers, gave Miami the difference. Garrett Crochet, after 88 pitches in 7 innings, his last time out, 93 pitches in 4 innings. Mike Soroka, with 2 earned runs in 3 innings of work, 2 earned runs against him in 3 innings of work, moves him to 0-9 on the year with a 5.20 ERA.
Not ideal.
And then not ideal. And then we go to game 3 when the Marlins won 7-4. Jake Berger against his former employer, a walk-off 3-run homer after a game-tying RBI double from Josh Bell. Jonathan Cannon was good, 6 innings, 1 run, but Michael Kopech, 4 runs against him in a blown save. The loss, Soroka's 0-9 with a 5.2. Michael Kopech is now 2-8 with an ERA in the mid-5s, I think. Kopech threw 20 pitches, 18 four-seam fastballs, and 2 cutters. I don't have a takeaway from this. Like, really good for Jake Berger. I'm very happy for Jake Berger as a former White Sox, as a current Marlin, and, you know, good for him for having that moment with the walk-off homer. But that's really all I have to say about this series.
My takeaway is I didn't know the White Sox could hit a farther rock bottom than they did in that Garrett Crochet start. The Marlins are one of the worst teams against left-handed pitching, I think, in history. If we're looking at their record, I don't know exactly what it is, but I know that over a week ago it was 4-25 against lefties. They have the worst WRC plus by a mile. They don't do anything against left-handed pitching. They basically show up to the ballpark and they say, let's move on to the next game. We ain't winning. There have been plenty of lefties who have came in and dominated. How do you lose the Crochet start? How do you lose the Crochet start? That
When he
felt
only
like
goes
you get
4
farther
innings.
than rock bottom.
Yeah, I guess, but like he only went 4 innings, and
I
I know
know.
that he limited
How
the
does he get
runs
hit?
against
How does
him.
he get hit against the Marlins of all teams?
But like, was he necessarily getting hit? Like, it's not like he got knocked out of the box. Like,
He didn't pitch well. That's that
he
was
didn't
he
pitch
just didn't
well.
pitch well
That's the
against
thing,
the freaking Marlins.
right? Like the Miami Marlins should never force Garrett Crochet to throw 93 pitches in 4 innings
That's why it
ever.
felt like rock bottom because it's like, how is that even possible? How do you lose to the team who literally cannot beat lefties with your all-star? How do you
Yeah.
do it? You be the White Sox. That's why it felt like below rock bottom. I don't know what that term is.
He also might have been the easiest All-Star selection, like for a team only getting 1 in Major League history. Think about it,
Unfortunately,
like the total
unfortunately,
bottom dwellers.
I was going to say, unfortunately, White Sox fans can't sneak Maldonado in there.
which is for the best.
Yeah, it's
I think.
yeah.
All right, let's jump to Minnesota, where the Twins get a series victory. Game 1 was wonky as hell.
This was a sick series. Two of the hottest teams in baseball just going head to head, an immovable object versus an unstoppable force right now.
This is Peter making it up to me for like sticking me with White Sox Marlins. He was like,
Yeah.
oh, I'll throw him Astros Twins.
It was
That's
electric.
Yeah, that was very nice of you. So I appreciate that. Game 1 was insane. 13-12 on Friday. Jose Miranda was 4 for 4. 10 guys had a multi-hit day, 4 guys with 3 or more hits. Houston got 3 in the second, 3 in the sixth, 3 in the eighth, 3 in the ninth. Minnesota had a 7-run bottom of the ninth inning to come back within 1. Pablo Lopez got hit hard. 5 innings, 8 hits, 6 earned runs. Again, like, this has been too common with Pablo, and I don't get it. It doesn't compute for me when it happens, but like, it's been happening this year, and I can't tell you why, because sometimes he throws against Oakland and he's, 8 shutout with 14, 15 Ks. It's crazy to me that this happened to Pablo Lopez. Game 2, Minnesota gets him back 9-3. Jose Miranda 2 for 3 to end the stretch. What was it? 12 consecutive?
12 consecutive. He tied the major league record last done by Walt Dropo in 1952.
There you go. 12 consecutive at-bats with a base hit. Jose Miranda was 2 for 3. Hunter Brown got killed again. Help me figure this cat out.
No. Just a bad start. He ran into one of the hottest offenses in Major League Baseball over the past week. The Twins had put up a 170 WRC plus against right-handed pitching. He just ran into a buzzsaw. He has been fantastic. Your take is still right. Bad start.
But
That's okay. He's been awesome.
But like, a bad start can't look like 6 innings, 12 hits, 7 earned.
That's the Hunter Brown experience. When it's bad, it's horrific.
I don't understand.
I know, I don't understand it either. It almost reminds me of I remember when Graham Ashcraft first got called up. It did feel like, why did you allow 11 earned runs in 3 innings, then throw a 7-inning shutout in your next game? It just doesn't make a lot of sense. But
the thing is, like,
but Hunter Brown's been so good up into that start in the last like 7 of them.
I know. And the thing is, like, Graham Ashcraft was optioned this year, like 2-3 weeks ago. Hunter Brown, I hold to a way higher standard than that.
Yeah.
So it was weird, but Brooks Lee had his first big league homer in that game. Byron Buxton and John Singleton also homer. Yainer Diaz, Willie Castro had 3 hits apiece. Game 3, this was the duel. 3-2 Minnesota. Christian Vasquez with a walk-off homer against who else but Josh Hader. First hitter that Hader sees. Hader has allowed 8 homers in 39 innings so far this year. That's a lot. A lot. And it can't happen from the best closer in baseball and a guy that's making near $100 million over the course of this contract. Simeon Woods Richardson, 6 innings, 3 hits, 2 runs. Spencer Arrighetti, I know he blows up a decent chunk of the time, but a lot of those happened early. Like, I think you look at the season numbers and they don't look good at all. And I know time before this, it was like 7 earned against him in 4 innings or so.
Yeah, he's having one of those seasons where it's either really, really good or really, really bad.
Yeah, and this was a good one. And like, I greatly enjoyed watching Arrighetti on Sunday afternoon.
Especially against this Twins offense, which is on fire. That's what I was saying. An immovable object meets an unstoppable force. These are 2 of the hottest teams. They came in on tons of win streaks. I think coming into this game, the Twins won 8 of their last 10. The Astros won 9 of their last 10 or something nuts. Yeah, this is just a meeting of 2 incredibly hot teams. And the hottest of them all was Jose Miranda. I mean, this guy came into the month of June with a 732 OPS while hitting 271. Now, the beginning of June was still really good for him, but this past hit streak and just the way that he's been hitting even beyond that, right now we're looking at a guy with a 906 OPS while hitting 331. And it's so cool to see, too, because I remember you and Aram were on this guy very, very early, talking about how he's going to make a big impact for the Twins. And he's been kind of up and down. He hasn't really found his footing, but now he's a record holder. And he's definitely going to find his footing with the Twins for the rest of the season. And this guy is a real bat that they have.
At worst, you're in the history books. at best, this is the confidence boost that he needed to be a mainstay in the Twins lineup.
100%. And it's also not it's not a bunch of pull side, jacks that he's doing. Like he's hitting the ball the other way. He's finding
He
holes,
homered
right?
in this stretch, yeah.
Exactly. Like it was, they were, I don't know a better way to explain it other than he just looked smart up there at the plate, if that makes sense. Like he took what was coming to him. If it was an
He looked
outside
in
fastball, he'd
control.
drive it to
Yeah.
the other play. He'd drive it the other way. If it was up the middle, he'd drive it up the middle. He was hitting the ball where it's being placed. It was Luis Arraez-esque. It was
Yeah.
wherever he wanted to, the ball was going.
It was a very in control stretch from Jose Miranda. Like
In control is a good way to put it.
It was a very comfortable stretch, like in control, comfortable, however you want to slice it. But Jose Miranda, certainly the takeaway. The other negative takeaway is Hader. Like,
I just, it's insane.
It's
It's
crazy.
insane that this continues to happen to him. And it's not a rest thing.
No,
He had the day off the day before that.
I don't know. And like, frankly, him setting a mandate when he hit arbitration, like, makes me, I think, subconsciously not root against him, but like I don't have much sympathy for him when this happens because he has been, a guy that has been so careful with his situation. And it's not like he gave the Milwaukee Brewers every single chance they should have been given to win. Because if he did, he would have thrown when he didn't feel right. And he wasn't going to do that. And he didn't do it for San Diego. Like, he put him in front of the team, and I don't blame him for that. It's just like, you're not going to get the benefit of the doubt from me. And, it's not like I'm smiling when this happens. I'm just like, dude, your past, unfortunately, does not do you any favors here where it's like, oh, I'm rooting hard for you to get out of this.
So that's the negative. Here's the positive. I bet on the Houston Astros to win the American League West at plus 125. I put a unit on it on BetMGM. I don't believe in the Mariners' vision offensively. And I'm only wondering how long can the pitching go and really dominate when, again, you got a good outing from George Kirby and you lost the last game. We'll talk about it.
Yeah, we're going to get to that game.
They're going to get Verlander back. They're going to get Kyle Tucker back. And the Mariners surely will add offense at the deadline, but the Astros are going to add as well. And with only being 2 games back, there's a big difference in run differential. I think there's a big difference in just the team, the experience. So I don't know how much longer it's going to be a plus number, but just letting the listeners know on BetMGM, use our code. I did bet on the Astros to win the American League West. Also, remember when I came on the show and I said Shohei Ohtani plus 200 MVP? You know what he's at now?
Minus
300.
Wow.
Minus 300.
Wow. Good for you, man.
Yeah, so just letting you know, I don't know how long that number is going to be plus for long. Now, Shohei is no guarantee to win. We'll see, but get on these plus numbers now before they're in the negatives.
Think about it. Angels Cubs here. This was a series that was sort of kind of a clunker. Like, it was 3 one-sided games, and it felt like the other team was non-competitive in all 3 of these games. But yeah, the Cubs did take the series 2-1. Game 1 went Chicago's way 5-1. Seiya Suzuki at a 2-run homer, but Justin Steele, like, this was the story on Friday afternoon. A complete game, 2 hits, 1 run, 2 walks, 7 Ks. He did it on 95 pitches. Justin Steele's ERA on the year sits at 2.95. I know he missed about a month with that hammy issue, so, he didn't get the praise that Shota has gotten to this point, but man, like, they have a consistent ace in Justin Steele. Game 2, 7-0 Angels. Kyle Hendricks left with lower back tightness. Tyler Anderson, 8 shutout, 10 Ks, no walks. Ben Joyce finished the job with 2 Ks in the 9th. The Cubs had no chances. They were 0 for 1 with runners in scoring position. By the way, congrats to Joe Adell on the homer, man. Game 3 went to Chicago 5-0. Michael Busch had a 2-run homer. Hayden Wesneski threw into the 7th. 6 1/3, 1 hit, no runs, 2 Ks, and 1 walk. So Wesneski just rolling ground balls, man, doing the sinker slider thing.
My biggest takeaway from this is, you already kind of touched on it, but I feel like it's the only big takeaway you can take from the series is that Justin Steele is pitching like an ace again. Over his last 8 starts, 54 innings, 54 strikeouts with a 1.66 ERA. He's pitching just like he did when he was in the running for Cy Young last year. And it's just awesome to see him do it, not just because he's a friend of the show, not just because, again, he's been on this podcast multiple times, but I remember that start where he was getting so fired up with his dugout, like show some intensity. I think it was against the Reds, right, where there were a bunch
No,
of
wasn't it?
errors behind him.
Wasn't it in Milwaukee last week?
Oh yeah, it was in Milwaukee, exactly. I knew it was a division rival.
Yeah.
I forgot which one. And to come back out there and throw a complete game, like get on my back type of start,
Yeah.
that's the Justin Steele we know, and he's fully back. The
No,
Mississippi fastball.
that was some dog stuff.
Yeah,
Like
that
that
was
was
dog shit.
very, very yeah, but like dog shit in a good way. You know
No,
what I mean?
yeah,
Like
good, like
dog shit's a
dog.
bad.
No, yeah,
Yeah, that was some dog. That's why I said stuff. That was some dog stuff.
you put it better than me. I'm not a wordsmith. I'm a ball knower. We know
You're
this.
a ball knower. I know. I know. All right, we'll jump back to the American League here. We'll go to Tampa and Texas. This was in Arlington. And game one went to Texas. The Rangers sweep. Game one, a 3-0 Ranger win. Michael Lorenzen, 5 innings, 1 hit, no runs, 5 walks. Shane Baz made his season debut at the big league level. He had started 10 games in Durham and looked really good down there. 6 innings, 3 runs, 6 Ks, and 1 walk. Tampa was 0 for 10 with runners in scoring position. They stranded 11. So kind of a Houdini act from Lorenzen. Game 2, 4-3 Texas, a 3-run top of the 7th for Tampa, but a 2-run bottom of the 7th for Texas to take the lead back because of a Marcus Semien 2-run homer. Taj Bradley, 6 innings, 1 earned. Andrew Heaney continued the scoreless stretch of Ranger starters, 5 1/3, 3 hits, no runs, 7 Ks. Then game 3, 13-2 Texas. Nathan Eovaldi, 7 innings, only 2 runs against him, came on a 2-run homer from Jose Caballero. Seager, Heim, Grossman homer. Littell got pillaged again. The Rangers sweep. The Rangers are making their way back into this, and I know that they kind of floated themselves as quasi-sellers, at least according to Bob Nightingale. They shouldn't do that. This was a great series sweep at home, and it was really highlighted by the starting pitching for Texas.
I think you and I have the same feeling on this one.
Yeah.
Oh, Texas
Dude,
Rangers.
I remember you were sitting there shocked when I put the Rangers over the Royals when it came to the wild card power rankings. And I was just like, I know one team is 6 games over. I know one team is like 5, 6 games under, but man, they're the Texas Rangers. Don't forget.
Welcome to the 2024 season, Texas Rangers. This is the best series I've seen them play all season long because they got contributions from everybody. It wasn't the classic, oh, Corey Seager just put us on his back and we won, and maybe the other team made mistakes. No. They won low-scoring games. They won in high-scoring games. They beat the living. That's the Rangers we know. 13 runs to sweep. That's the Texas Rangers. That's the team that won the World Series. But I'm not ready to say that they shouldn't be a quasi-seller. I need to see way more from this team. I cannot be back in on the Rangers just because you and I know that it's so close to clicking. We got to keep watching. It cannot, because it could be inconsistent, right? I got really excited about the Reds after they swept the Yankees, and then what they do? They got swept by the Tigers. This is that Reds series. This is now you build. You build and you build and you get back in the hunt, then you buy, then we go. You gotta pounce on this momentum. You cannot then lay down. This has got to be the thing that gets you going. So that was my takeaway. Don't be the Reds. Hit this and run and keep going. Don't lay down. And then buy, get a couple more wins, get near 500. Chris Young and that front office say, you know what? We're a couple pieces away. We're going to get DeGrom back. We're going to get Malley back. We already got Scherzer back, who's looked pretty good. Don't lay down. Keep going.
Are we saying welcome to the biggest week of the Rangers season?
Literally. I think these next few weeks up until the trade deadline are incredibly impactful for the Rangers. Arguably one of the most impactful teams in this little stretch.
Yeah.
The Texas Rangers. Because if they go 500-ish over the next few weeks, they're going to be quasi-sellers.
Yeah.
But if they do Rangers baseball shit and start to get on a heater, and it doesn't even matter, I could be pitching with my offhand, and the Rangers are still going to win because that offense is so electric. keep going. And then if they have a real good run here, we're talking. And I could be an idiot. I just bet on the Astros when they could win the division. We'll see.
No, but like they have some stuff to work with in the minor leagues now too. Emiliano Teodo has looked really good. He'll be going to the futures game.
Kumar?
Winston Santos has looked really good. He'll be going to the futures game. And Kumar Rocker, I saw the notification. You saw the notification too. We got a text. He was
All
up
I'm
to
saying is
98.
when I see Kumar Rocker at 99 in the same sentence, I start to watch.
I'm bought back in
I
too.
know I'm
Yeah,
in.
like I think I texted our big group. I was like, this is something that I can like buy back in. I've got nothing to lose. And you were like, might as well just spin
Yeah.
some
No,
narrative. So
I was as soon as he said that, I was like, me too. I'm in.
yeah,
Let's go.
let's do it. I'm totally in on this. All right, I've got two more series here. We'll go to Oakland and then we'll wrap in LA. Orioles A's. This one went to Baltimore 2-1, and the loss was kind of gross. James McCann threw an inning in that game because they lost by 11. But game one, it was a 3-2 Baltimore win. Albert Suarez, come on, 6 innings, 4 hits, 2 runs, both on solo homers from Miguel Andujar and Shea Langoliers. I want to point out the bullpen trio when it comes to winning the ball game. Suarez went 6, Webb, Cano, Kimbrel. 3 innings, 1 hit, no runs, 5 Ks, no walks out of the pen. Remember that. Game 2, bad for Baltimore. 19-8 Oakland. A 3-run first, a 7-run second, 2 in the third, 2 in the fourth, 3 in the sixth, 2 in the eighth. Homers in that game from Adley and Mountcastle on the losing side. Rooker, Max Schumann, Shea Langoliers, Tyler Nevin, Kyle McCann, Cade Povich, an inning plus 8 earned on 5 hits and 3 walks. Game 3, 6-3 Baltimore. Santander and Kjerstad homered. Grayson, 6 innings, 3 runs, 8 Ks. But remember, game 1, the winning bullpen trio, right? It's winning time. Let's go to our, 7th, 8th, and 9th inning guys. In game 1, Webb, Cano, Kimbrel, 3 innings, 1 hit, no runs. Game 3, Webb, Cano, Kimbrel, 3 innings, 1 hit, no runs, 5 Ks, and 1 walk. I hope they get a setup guy and they can kind of push Webb to the 6th or like lower leverage opportunities. But man, like, and I know Kimbrel has been, heart palpitation city for the last couple of years.
Here's the thing. Kimbrel probably should be an all-star. I'm still worried.
Yeah, right?
Still
Like,
in the back of my head. I've seen plenty of this before.
just saying, this bullpen trio, like, if they do nothing to that bullpen trio at the deadline, I'm not saying it's a failure.
I agree with you though. They don't I'm not saying go get Mason Miller, which they could, but we need someone back there. I want a little bit more. I want to feel safer
Yeah.
back there than
And
I
like,
currently do.
listen,
But it's good, right? It's a great back end. Kimbrel could be an all-star. Cano's been great. Webb's been great. I'm not saying they haven't.
yeah,
But you want to go win a World Series? Is Kimbrel closing out game 7? He might be. All-star.
probably. Yeah, no, I
Yeah. I
mean,
mean,
probably.
okay, we'll see how that works.
I agree with you fully. I could see them not wanting to do it, especially with Bautista back next year. And this is not a knock on Jacob Webb at all, because Webb has been awesome. Webb's got a 2.79 right now,
He's been great.
42 appearances. He's been
Yeah.
great. But like, if you can push Webb to the 6th and you get like, I'm just gonna keep going to him. You had Brad Boxberger during the lockout. Give me Hunter Harvey at the deadline. Like, if you can get 100 from Hunter Harvey in the 8th inning, and you go Cano for the 7th, Harvey for the 8th, Kimbrel for the 9th, it makes me feel better for
I
some
know, but
reason.
respectfully, I think your Hunter Harvey thing is growing a little bit stale at this point.
But like,
you'd want to get Finnegan, of course you would.
sure, but like, Harvey's good, man.
I know you like Harvey's stuff, but Finnegan has been objectively, and he's closing out games. He's just been way better. And
Yeah, so
again,
go
that's
get
another
Finnegan.
closer, right? So
No, go
I see
get
where
Finnegan.
you're coming from. I have a small takeaway from the series because you kind of covered it. Heston Kjerstad is giving me nightmares as a Yankee fan. Like, damn it. They got another one. This guy's got a 906 OPS.
Yeah.
I was watching that last game. I don't know why I turned on the game. It was like on the big screen. Like I was watching Orioles A's. That was the big screen game. Because I wanted to see how the Orioles would rebound after getting shellacked in game 2. And of course, they came out and destroyed. Um, Kjerstad hitting those home runs, it didn't give me the same vibe. It didn't, but it is getting there to when I watched Devers take on the Yankees as a young player, in the sense of like, as soon as I saw him lift the ball in the air, you're going to be a problem. It was just such a smooth swing. It was so violent at the same time too. And he's got wheels like that. He just feels like a problem. He feels like a problem for the rest of the league.
Could be. I just think he's a very, very good 5-hitter for them.
Yeah. Maybe that's why I said not Devers. I'm not putting him in that
not
category.
Devers.
I'm just saying it's a guy coming up in the same division as my team, watching that he clearly has it.
Yeah.
And just thinking to myself, damn it, there's another one. Yeah. Like the Orioles got another one of these.
No, and they all look the same too. Right.
Like,
right. Blonde, baby face. Like, what the hell? You guys
Just
are
going-
all getting into the bar with the same driver's license.
Why do they all have plate discipline too? Like they're not
I
even
don't-
going out of their own approach.
It's an Oriole thing, man.
So annoying. So annoying.
It's not annoying for them. It's annoying
it's
for
great
Yankee
for them.
fans.
Yeah,
So like
yeah.
it's fine for the rest of baseball.
Yeah.
All right, last series from me before we get to you. Milwaukee and the Dodgers. I really enjoyed this series.
Oh,
and
yeah.
the Dodgers took 2 of 3. Game 1, 8-5 Dodgers. A 3-run bottom of the 8th gave the Dodgers the lead. Glasnow wasn't good. Savali wasn't good. Hoskins homered. Miguel Vargas homered. But it was Will Smith, man. A 3-homer day for the hottest hitter in baseball, not named Jose Miranda at this point. Hottest hitter in the National League. Game 2, 5-3 Dodgers. Will Smith had a 2-run homer in the first inning, so that gave him 4 straight at-bats with a home run. Miguel Vargas homered again, back-to-back nights with a homer for Miguel Vargas. Rhys Hoskins homered again. Ohtani and Yelich also homer, because why wouldn't they? Vargas and Ohtani had solo shots against Brian Hudson, who was so good in the 8th to put them ahead, but Hudson allowed a homer in the 7th on Friday and 2 in the 8th on Saturday. Like, we're hitting the rough weekend that can derail a reliever's season. And I hope it doesn't for Brian Hudson, but like, sometimes it happens over the course of 48 hours, and this felt like the 48-hour stretch for Brian Hudson. But game 3 went to Milwaukee 9-2. Yelich, Haas, Perkins, Chris Taylor, all homer. Justin Robleski made his big league debut, and I want to get into Robleski a little bit more later this week. I'm not sure if they're going to option him right away. I know they kind of did this to buy another day of rest. But Robleski threw a lot better than the line. 5 innings, 5 hits, 4 runs. He punched out 4. The 4 runs came on a pair of 2-run homers. He was like a pitch away from this being. I saw Chad Moriyama of Dodgers Digest put something out, and I thought he nailed it, absolutely nailed it. As I pull it up right now, yeah, Robleski was 1 strike away from a great debut. Still looked like he belonged, but margins are tiny in the show, man. Robleski is one of the more underrated arms in the minor leagues, and I'm glad that he got the shot here. And I thought he threw well despite the record. Dallas Keuchel did not throw well, but like he was on the winning side of this. 4 1/3 shutout, 3 hits, 5 walks, no strikeouts. 5 walks, no Ks in 4 1/3. No runs. 94 pitches, 42 for strikes. That's a 44.7% strike rate. And Dallas Keuchel beats the Dodgers.
So do you understand Brewers baseball now?
I hate it. I don't like it.
The Savali and Keuchel experiment went 1-1 against the Los Angeles Dodgers.
Yeah, which is crazy.
In Chavez Ravine at Dodger Stadium.
I hate that.
That's Brewers baseball
I
for
wish they did something that was like better, like gave their fan base less angina.
You have to relegate the Dodgers down to the minor leagues, the whole team, after getting 4 shutty from Dallas Keuchel, don't you?
Yeah, but like it was funny watching Joe Davis, Oral Hershiser, and Mookie. Mookie was a guest analyst in the booth on Friday and Sunday, but just kind of watching them like take this in, because you had the rookie left-hander making his big league debut in Robleski, who was like filling up the strike zone and got clipped on 2 homers. and then Dallas Keuchel not throwing strikes. And they were like, I think Mookie put it well. It's like, yeah, you knew Wroblewski, if you're in the Brewer lineup, you knew Wroblewski was going to be around the strike zone. So like it's about the barrel catching up to it, and the barrel caught up to him. But like with Keuchel, like you're almost gun shy. It's like, is he going to throw me a strike? Is he going to throw me a pitch that I can barrel? And the answer was no. But he somehow made his way through 4 1/3 shutout.
Yeah, it was so funny. The first AB to Shohei grounds out to the second baseman, and the camera quickly flashed to Shohei, and I thought I saw his face. It was so fast, but this was kind of the look that he gave. He was
Yeah, it's
like,
what the hell just happened?
what? How did I just ground out against Dallas Keuchel? Next AB, he gets the same pitch, smacks it up the middle. You can tell he's like, all right, I just won't do that. And he got a
Yeah.
hit like that. And I want to say, wow, what an adjustment from Shohei. Because Dallas Keuchel still is, I guess, a major league pitcher. And to make that kind of adjustment from an at-bat to at-bat is a testament to Shohei. But I just thought it was so funny just how easy I felt the adjustment was. Like he was like, all right, I'm just going to lower my elbow a little bit and just put that thing in the air because it's going to land. And it was just the best hitter or whatever, judge to whatever, best hitter in the National League go toe-to-toe against Dallas Keuchel, making adjustments. I just
Kid
thought that was
Keuchel.
funny. Like he had to
Yeah.
make an adjustment against Keuchel.
No, I mean, sometimes Kid Keuchel's just better than Ohtani on a given day.
He's just
So,
better.
that's a doozy. All right, we're going to get to Peter's series. But before that, quick break. Peter, floor is yours.
Braves versus Phillies. What a series where the Braves win 2-1 and was starting game one, where the Phillies won 8-6. Trey Turner, Captain America, 2 bombs. Rojas, Marchand, Castellanos, Bohm, Turner all had 2 hits or more. Max Fried, 11 hits, 5 earned over 6 innings. And Aaron Nola grabs his 100th career win. We moved to game 2 where the Braves win 5-1. Albies and Ozuna both went yard. Spencer Schwellenbach take a bow. 6 innings, 1 run, 6 strikeouts against that Phillies offense. But how about Ranger Suarez? 5 earned in 5 innings. He has allowed 11 earned runs in his last 2 starts. ERA was below 2. It ain't anymore. Game 3, Braves blank the Phillies 6-0. Shout out me. I was on Phillies money line, not even close. Adam Duvall, Jared Kelnick, Matt Olson, Evan White all hit a home run. Reynaldo Lopez does Reynaldo Lopez shit, going 6 innings shutout again. ERA down to 1.71. And Michael Mercado got absolutely destroyed. 5 earned and 1 2/3. He just could not throw a strike. The Braves moved to 48-39. Phillies fall to 58-32.
Schwellenbach got over the hump.
Yeah.
This was the biggest start of Schwellenbach's career to this point because he did something that he had yet to do. And he checked a box that he needed to check at the major league level. And that was exactly what he did. He turned in against that team. I know at home, but against that team at this time of the year, that was the best start of his young major league career. And that was very, very important for him. And like, I know it doesn't happen to Fried often, but sometimes it does. Like, he's not immune to the blow up. And Fried had a blow up earlier this year. He had a couple at the outset. And
I mean,
like the ERA.
his first start against the Phillies, he went 2/3 of an inning and gave up 3 runs. I think he exited with an injury, but still, I mean, he couldn't get out of the first inning.
Yeah, I mean, like that just happens to Fried sometimes. And like, injuries happen to Fried sometimes. I think we know maybe more than sometimes, but like, man, it just seems like Fried runs into this. So, like, again, very not often, but like his blowups sometimes look like that. But my big takeaway here was Schwellenbach, and then that Olsen swing on Sunday. I was like, okay, like just get back, man. Just hit 50 more of those and we're good.
That was driving on a par 5. I mean,
That's
that was just
that's what he does.
golf swing way out of here. My big takeaway was, when's the last time we saw the Braves offense consistently put up 6 runs in every game? When's the last time?
Last year.
Exactly. This Braves offense this year has been one of the worst by WRC plus against right-handed pitching. Against lefties, they've been league average. What? It's the Braves offense we're talking about. Now, I know Ronald Acuna Jr. for a little bit. I know Michael Harris for a little bit. But those stats are over the entire season, and those guys were with you for good majority of the season. I didn't feel Rangers-esque in the sense of where I was like, all right, now we go. But I'm getting there with this Braves offense. Like, that was a really important series for them to beat the Phillies at home and be that offensively good the entire time. I think that was big for the Braves psyche, and I hope that it carries over, because when the Braves offense is right, I mean, it's a show every day. So that was my big takeaway there. Move on to Cardinals versus Nationals. Sneaky great series. Cardinals win 2-1, but in game one, banger of a game. Cardinals win 7-6 in 11 innings. Nationals crush Sonny Gray, highlighted by a Luis Garcia home run to make the score 5-0 after 3 innings. Now, the Cardinals mounted a comeback highlighted by a Wilson Contreras home run in the 9th to tie the game at 5. And then the Cardinals won in the 11th on a pass ball from a strikeout from Wilson Contreras to score Mason Wynn. And funny enough, Patrick Corbin outdueled Sonny Gray. What a sentence. Game 2, Nationals win 14-6 to get some revenge. They were up 9-0 after 2 innings. Home runs from Abrams, Ruiz, but notably James Wood's first career home run, and he goes oppo with it. And Lance Lynn allowed 10 earned in 2 2/3. Mackenzie Gore also struggled, allowing 5 earned in 3 1/3. Game 3, just a regular game. Cardinals went 8-3, tied at 2 after 4. Cardinals pile on 4 runs in the 5th. Contreras' 2-run home run in the 7th was really the dagger. Both Gibson and Hers gave up 3 earned runs or more. Hers actually gave up 4. Did not pitch that great. Cardinals moved to 47-42. Nationals fall to 42-48.
I'm going to give Mackenzie Gore the benefit of the doubt because his team was up by so much so quickly that he probably took his foot off the gas, and you can't really take your foot off the gas in a Major League Baseball game or a minor league baseball game for that matter. But like, I think he is immensely talented, and this was like not viewed as a rough start. It was just like, oh, what's my motivation here? And he frankly had none. It happens to Fried sometimes. It happens to Lynn sometimes, and Lance Lynn got hammered. That James Wood homer was just so damn impressive. Like, wow, man, I'm in. And also, fun note, he switched his number from 50 to what, 28 or 29? I
Not
think it's
sure.
29.
I know he switched his
But
number. I just don't know which one it was.
according to a Nats official, fans that bought a James Wood number 50 jersey can exchange it for free
That's
for
awesome.
a James Wood number 28, 29 jersey, which is awesome. But like, I would keep the 50. I've got a Xander Bogaerts number 72 rookie jersey in my, I don't think it's in this closet. I think it's in my parents' closet, but that's like one of my favorite things that I have because like it's unique.
2 things. One, Nationals fans have to be excited seeing CJ Abrams and James Wood now in the same lineup consistently. It's got to
And
feel
Gore.
good. And
And
Gore.
Gore.
And even hers has looked pretty good. Jake Irvin has been the man,
Yeah.
all-star snub. We'll talk about it. How about James Wood like lifting the ball in the air? He's been hitting the ball really hard, but none of it's really been in the air. And it's been weird because he's a guy who can consistently elevate.
It hasn't been in the air for a week.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Right? We're
Sometimes it
holding
takes
these
a week.
guys to, I'm holding the number 1 prospect in baseball, according to just baseball, to a high standard. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, like he's obviously great, but I want to see you lift the ball, because when you lift the ball's going to leave the yard because you hit the ball so damn hard. And he did it, and it went oppo, and it just shows the power that James Wood possesses. All he's got to do is get under the ball, and it's going. That's it. Too many ground balls for my liking. Yeah. Holding this guy to a high standard, even though he's 21 years old. I was watching the game, and while he was rounding the bases after that home run, I get my girlfriend Amaris in here. I'm like, how old do you think that guy is? And she's like, 30.
30.
I was like,
33.
He's 5 years younger than us.
Yeah.
And she was in shock. I thought that was hilarious because I was like, look at that man. Look at that man.
Dog.
Giants versus Guardians. Another great series. Guardians win 2-1. Giants win game 1, though, 4-2. Early 4-0 lead by the Giants, highlighted by a Michael Conforto 2-run double. That was enough. I really wanted to shout out Spencer Bivens, 30-year-old rookie, another 3-inning solid performance, ERA down to 2.65. I already broke down his incredible story on a show a couple of weeks ago, and I'm not going to re-go over it again, but if you are interested, either go listen to that episode or just search up Spencer Bivens. Incredible story. Classic Giants bullpen win. Tanner Bobby struggled. 4 earned in 4 2/3. Very unlike Tanner Bybee, who's been awesome for the Guardians. Game 2, Guardians win 5-4. 4-0 lead. For the Guardians after 2, highlighted by a Stephen Kwan home run, Giants fight back, but Jackenzie Noel with the dagger home run. Said it left the bat at 101.8. Freaking lie. That thing went 130. Logan Allen allowed 2 runs, which were charged to him in 4 1/3. He struck out 9, which was 1 off his career high. And he was visibly upset when he was getting taken out. And then he got sent down. And I read the report that they're opening a spot for Spencer Howard in his mid-5s ERA. We can talk about that in a little bit, but let's move on to game 3. Guardians win again, 5-4. Conforto home run to start us off. Giants build a lead. Guardians down 3-2 in the 6th. And a pinch hit. Bo Naylor, 3-run home run gives them the win. And Manuel Clase did give up a run. His ERA flew up to 0.85. I more just wanted to say he gave up a run and his ERA went up to 0.85. Guardians move to 56 and 32. Giants fall to 44 and 47. I was trying to find things on the Logan Allen thing. It's weird. I know they sent McKenzie down. That's understandable.
Yeah, but like Allen hasn't been throwing well.
I know, but after that start to move, he struck out 9 guys. He looked good. Why after that start?
It certainly is the case where like you can do the Brian Windhorst thing where you're pointing up. It's like, now why is that? I don't know.
You're really going to move it for Spencer Howard? What do they see in him?
Maybe they're tapering him off and like suspension bridging Logan Allen. So, and I use suspension bridge as a verb consistently. And like, I think it's the best way to manage a guy's innings where instead of shutting him down early or getting him going late, you let him go full bore at the beginning of the year. Around this time, you suspension bridge him off so the innings load, the pitch load, the workload is lower, and then you gear him back up in September. So I don't know if they're doing that to control his innings output. Again, this is his first, full season in the major leagues.
But hold on one sec. Is Logan Allen good enough to be doing this with? Getting him up for September for the playoff rotation?
So I don't think that matters, to be honest.
That's fair. And that's with all due respect to Logan Allen. It's just the way that he's performed this year, and it's his second year. He's not a rookie starter. Are we still limiting innings and then getting him ready for September? Aren't you? I mean, are we gonna throw a full season here?
I also don't think he's been that good. Like I know.
No, I know. That's why I'm like, are we limiting his innings or are we just sending him down? That's why I'm confused.
I mean, he walked 4. Like I think they sent him down. I'm trying to think about the innings limit thought process. Like, hey, if they are in that camp to do that, okay. But like, I just don't think he's been good enough. So I think this is a merit-based option.
Just after this start where he struck out 9 and he looked like the best that he has against a team he's been hitting lefties?
Okay, struck out 9, but walked 4 again.
Yeah.
Like,
struck
it's
out
not. 9. Yeah, but walked 4.
All right, so he's Blake Snell. Won the Cy Young.
Sure.
All right, let's move on. Royals versus Rockies. Rockies win the series 2-1. Game 1, Rockies win. Go ahead.
Real quick, though.
Yeah.
I had one more thing on this.
Oh, my bad.
Ryan Walker, all-star snub.
He didn't make it?
No.
Oh, I thought I saw his name on the reserves.
No.
Elliot Ramos made it, which fired me up.
Elliot Ramos, Logan Webb, and Elliot Ramos. Ryan Walker allowed 3 runs on June 1st. Since then, 1 run in his last 15 appearances. Ryan Walker had a 2.77 ERA in April, then a 1.38 in May, then a 1.93 in June. Now he's worked 4 innings of 1-hit shutout ball in July. I know he's not a closer, but he's an all-star.
He's on my fantasy baseball team. That's how good of a setup guy is.
I mean, this guy is throwing all the time, 44 appearances, a 1.97 earned run average.
Doesn't get much better than that.
Doesn't get much better.
We're going to talk about all the snubs on tomorrow's show. Don't worry, folks. But right now, we got to talk about Game 1 of the Royals versus Rockies series, where the Rockies won 4-2. Michael Toglia hit a bomb. Brenton Doyle had a 2-run double. That was the difference. Cole Reagan's in Coors, still great. 7 innings, 2 earned, 8 Ks. But Kyle Freeland was just a little bit better. 7 innings, 1 earned, 5 strikeouts. We move on to Game 2, where the Rockies win 3-1. Brenton Doyle, 2-run home run was enough. Seth Lugo pitched a great game, but his offense didn't show up because they got Austin Gombard. 7 innings, 1 earned, 3 strikeouts. Game 3, here come the Royals bats. They win 10-1. Michael Garcia, MJ Melendez, Bobby Witt Jr. all hitting home runs. How about Brady Singer? In Coors, 7 innings, 1 earned, 7 strikeouts. ERA down to 2.93. And shout out Tanner Gordon making his MLB debut. He didn't pitch great, but he still went 6 innings, 6 and a third, actually, 5 earned. And the Rockies DFA'd Dakota Hudson. That's why Tanner Gordon was pitching. Royals move to 49-43. Rockies fall to 32-58.
Is Brenton Doyle an all-star snub? We have no idea, man. Maybe. He's been really hot.
We're going to talk about it tomorrow.
I know we are. So I'll save my thoughts on all of that. But yeah.
Before you begin, if you have a takeaway from this series, I'll be shocked.
I don't.
I mean, what even was this series?
I don't know. I kind of was just waiting for Lugo to be announced as an all-star, and he was. And I know that we've got something excellent written on justbaseball.com about that, kind of chatting with Lugo about that.
First of all, go check that out on justbaseball.com. I don't want to gloss that over. That is fantastic content that is on our website. Go check it out. Why was I watching pitching duels, of course? Why was I doing that? But why did I spend my Saturday watching a pitching duel?
Yeah.
Why did I spend my Sunday watching Brady Singer shove? Of course. I want fireworks. This is the Royals we're talking about, like a team who could put up 7 at any given moment, especially in Coors Field with all that speed. And there's a bunch of low-scoring games, not great baseball, and then game 3 was a complete blowout. This series sucked, personally. Sucked.
I'm sorry that you assigned it to yourself.
I didn't have that much fun. Do you agree with me, though? Like, I thought Marlins White Sox, there was at least some excitement in there.
Yeah, a little bit. Like, I don't know. I thought Brady Singer shoving at Coors was kind of cool.
Kind of cool. But, like, the Rockies just cannot hit
I prefer weird. Yeah, like, if you're turning on a Pac-12 game, like, I don't want 10-7. You know what I mean? Like, right? Pac-12 after dark should never be a field goal fest.
Like, I don't want to talk about Oregon State's defense. I want to talk about the fact that their quarterback threw for 9 touchdowns.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah, so that's how I felt about this series. It was one of those supposed to be high-scoring series, just kind of good pitching, though. Shout out the pitchers. Just, I want more runs, of course. Blue Jays versus Mariners. This was a series, and maybe it is coming from my just general dislike
the algorithm
of teams right now while wearing a Mariners hat. Just two of the more unwatchable good teams, if that makes sense. Like, yes, the White Sox are unwatchable. The Blue Jays and the Mariners don't fit in that bucket, but for the good teams, they are unwatchable. And this just felt like a series of neither team wanted to win, but one team had to. Let's talk about it. In game 1, Mariners win 2-1. It was the Luis Castillo show. 6 2/3, 2 hits, 1 earned, 8 strikeouts. Gausman was great. Only gave up 2 earned, had 10 strikeouts in 6 innings. But a Luke Raley 2-run double was the difference. Classic Mariners win at T-Mobile Park. Game 2, Blue Jays win 5-4. Shout out Y-Rod. Yariel Rodriguez, first MLB win. 6 innings, 1 hit, no earned, 6 strikeouts. Emerson Hancock's return from a shoulder strain wasn't great, but it wasn't bad. 4 innings, 2 earned. Blue Jays bullpen almost blew a 5-run lead. 3-run home run by Mitch Haniger in the 8th. Solo home run by Luke Raley in the 9th. But the Blue Jays still found a way to win. And in game 3, 5-4 win for the Jays in 10 innings. Victor Robles goes second deck. First home run for the Mariners. First home run for himself since September of 2022. Shout out Victor Robles. Mitch Garver, 3-run home run in the 5th. Scott Servais took out George Kirby with 93 pitches due to face Kevin Kiermaier and George Springer. Put in Ryan Stanek. Not a great decision. Springer hits a 3-run home run to tie the game. And then Dalton Varsho, RBI single in the 10th was the difference. The Blue Jays moved to 41-49. Mariners fall to 49-43.
So I understand the decision on the hill is not great, but not much you can do when the offense strands 15 men on base, goes 2 for 12 with runners in scoring position, and punches out 14 times. Not much you can do there.
And J-Rod, MRI, had to leave. I think it was Saturday's game. He didn't even actually get an at-bat. He felt something in pregame warm-ups. MRI did come back clean on the quad, though, so there is good news there. But if he's out for an extended period of time, even if it's a few weeks leading up to this deadline, like J-Rod getting hurt right now is worst case scenario right now for the Seattle Mariners team, who needs to hit. you're still getting good performances from the pitchers. It's the whole Mariners thing that we keep talking about. They
So
just can't hit. That's why I bet on the Astros to win this division. The Mariners, I cannot buy into this offense, especially when the bullpen is not what it's been hyped up to be. And that's not completely their fault. You lose Santos, you lose Brash. Those are two phenomenal relievers. Andres Munoz should have been an all-star. We'll talk about that again on tomorrow's show. But the rest of them, I'm not that impressed. And it's not a fun team to watch right now.
If you think we're being unnecessarily overdramatic about the Rangers about the Mariners offense, J-Rod did appear in this game as a pinch runner, and that's when he tweaked it. He has a 632 OPS. I'm just going to run you through the OPSs in the lineup. J.P. Crawford, 650. Mitch Garver, 665. Cal Raleigh, 676. Luke Raley, 738. Ty France, 676. Josh Rojas, 705. Jorge Polanco, 564. Dominic Canzone, 676. Mitch Haniger, 624. Victor Robles, 678. Dylan Moore, 730. The best OPS is a 738.
How can that team win the division?
Yeah, team cannot win a division. You took the words right out of my mouth.
Now, the Rangers could win it, maybe, unless they add a Pete Alonso and more. That's the thing. This offense is not solved by one bat.
No,
even if you go get Luis Robert, it's not solved. You need a lot. Like Josh Rojas was carrying the offense for the first month. Since then, it's Josh Rojas. J.P. Crawford is not the offensive shortstop that I think Mariners are wanting and pleading for. And if J-Rod isn't standing on his head, like Ty France batting fourth, that ain't working. Mitch Garver hits a home run every once in a while, but he's not an everyday player. Unless he's just sitting in your DH spot, but you want to have a revolving door there. Luke Raley can get a hold of one every once in a while, but it's not consistent. It's just, that's why I call him unwatchable. I cannot watch this offense go to work. Especially that last game, that was one where I could not believe the Mariners lost. And that's not trying to dampen the Blue Jays' mood after a great win. You had George Kirby on the mound cruising, and you couldn't win.
Yep.
All right, let's keep moving. D-backs versus Padres. Another great series. D-backs win 2-1. Game 1, Padres win 10-8. What a game. Padres are up 7-2, highlighted by a Kyle Higashioka home run and a 2-run triple from Jackson Merrill. But Alek Thomas comes up in the 9th. Grand slam to make the score 7-6. Randall Grichuk, 2-run home run for the 8-7 lead in the 9th. Profar, home run in the bottom of the 9th to tie it. Manny Machado, 2-run home run to win it in the 9th. What an insane 9th inning. Maybe the best inning of the year. D-backs, Padres. Padres end up winning that game, but what a 9th inning. Game 2, D-backs win 7-5 in 10 innings. 4-1 lead for Arizona into the 7th, highlighted by Lourdes Gurriel Jr. home run. Padres rally in the 7th and the 8th to tie it up. D-backs score 3 in the 10th. Padres score 1, but couldn't score with runners on 2nd and 3rd to tie it back up. Now, Brandon Pfaadt left the game with an ankle injury. Luckily, x-rays came back negative. Says that long as the swelling goes down, he should not miss any time. It's not an exact quote, but I pieced two of them together.
Yeah.
Shouldn't miss much time, according to him. Game 3, D-backs win 9-1. Corbin Carroll and Jerickson Profar trade off bombs in the first inning, but there was no more scoring until the 7th before a Eugenio Suarez home run. Then the D-backs just piled on a ton of runs. Ryan Nelson was excellent, 6 2/3, 3 hits, 1 earned, 5 Ks, and Cease was good, just not good enough. 7 innings, 3 earned, 8 Ks. Padres fall to 49 and 45. D-backs move to 45 and 45. It's weird how many more games the Padres have played than everybody else. I know it has something to do with Korea, but it still feels like they've played like 7 more games than everybody else.
I know, and everybody's going to get to 162 at some point. Alek Thomas being back is a big addition, and I know that he's been slower out of the gates, but like this guy didn't play from March 31st until July 2nd.
Yeah,
I think Alek Thomas is an infusion of some life for this D-backs team, and like And nobody's out of this thing right now. Nobody's out of the National League wild card except for the Marlins and the Rockies at this point. And, it could just be as simple as like, hey, we got Alec Thomas back. Hey, we got an everyday player back that could kind of ignite that fire in Arizona. And I'm not saying that his presence alone ignited that fire over the weekend, but it's not like it hurt at all.
Yeah. No, my it's so funny. My big takeaway is not team focus. It's not like what you're saying about Alec Thomas moving forward. I thought that ninth inning was the best inning of the season in game one. It was, I mean, 7-2 grand slam, then a home run to take the lead, and then another home run in the bottom half to tie it, and then a 2-run home run. That was pure joy watching that inning. Just absolute electricity. All right. Last series before we send everybody on their way to enjoy their Monday. Yankees, Red Sox, game one. Red Sox win 5-3 in 10 innings. Yankees grab a 3-0 lead after 4, but I want to talk about the third inning for a second. Anthony Volpe on third. Let me set the scene. Anthony Volpe on third, DJ LeMahieu on first with 1 out. Ben Rice hits a ground ball to first baseman Romy Gonzalez, who stepped on the bag through to second base and tagged DJ. So why am I bringing it up? Well, Volpe slowed up so the run didn't score, and his excuse was he was confused. I didn't read into it too much of why. I just heard Anthony Volpe confused, and I stopped reading because it pissed me off. Can't happen. Cannot happen. And what did the Red Sox do? Home run in the 5th from Roby Gonzalez. Yoshida, 2-run home run in the 9th to tie it. Cedane Rafael, a home run in the 10th to win it. Wasted a great Nestor Cortez Jr. start. Red Sox win 5-3 in 10 innings. I did not sleep well Friday night, but I slept soundly Saturday night. Yankees win 14-4, and this was the Ben Rice game. First Yankees rookie with 3 home runs ever. Also had 7 RBIs. Now, on the flip side, Rafael Devers, yes, is Garrett Cole's father, taking him 440 again. And I quote, as a pitcher, if you don't want to watch a home run trot, then you probably shouldn't have given up the home run. That's a big league response. That's a mature response from Garrett Cole, where the hubbub was, he's bitching, he's complaining, and he's looking at Devers. No, he was pissed at himself. He's a competitor. Also, Verdugo hit a home run and pimped it. Red Sox didn't like that, and for good reason. Verdugo has been struggling. Why are you pimping? Why are you showing him up, Verdugo? I didn't agree with that. And also, Garrett Cole's ERA, 6.75 now, has not had a shutout outing yet. And we are recording during Sunday Night Baseball. I watched the first 4 innings. I watched Luis Gil look actually awesome. What is the score? 2-0 Red Sox. Great.
Devers homered, I think, right?
Oh, great. Yep. And Rafael again. Great. No, I mean, shout out the Red Sox. The Yankees are just playing terrible baseball.
I like the Red Sox vibe a lot.
Me too.
Right now.
It's hard not to. Yeah, totally agree.
Hard not to. And Jarren Duran, deserving all-star. We're going to get into all that tomorrow. But my takeaway from this weekend is I like the Red Sox again. And I know that we've been branded as such a Red Sox negative pod, and I don't really understand that, but I know that it's happened before. But man, I'm really bought into, kind of rooting for the Red Sox and their vibe right now.
No, you know where it started? I think it was when we first started the show. When
21 ALCS.
Yeah, we picked the Astros over the Red Sox convincingly. And Red Sox fans just, from that moment,
we hate them.
We hate you.
Hate them.
They hate them. And the Astros won that series. It's not personal. I mean, I don't know what you want us to do. So that'll do it for this episode of the Just Baseball Show. Go get your Just Baseball merch. Why not? You get some Just Baseball merch in the episode description. Real Pats are back. Support the show. Come on. Also, if you don't want to spend a dime, that's okay. If you could please rate, review 5 stars, whether it be on Spotify or on Apple Podcasts. Oh, wait, why am I giving the outro? Do you have any takeaways from the series other than
I really like the Red
Sox? Yeah, I agree with you.
No, I had a funny joke about Tolia. Do you want to hear it?
Yeah.
You said Toglia again? And I was going to say real G's move in silence like Tolia instead of lasagna.
That could be like a cool Instagram caption for him to use.
Real G's move in silence like Tolia. Okay, you can do the merch thing now. That's all I needed.
Rate and review, please. 5 stars on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and hit that big red subscribe button on YouTube. All-Star starters are announced on
All-star
Sunday.
everybody, all-star
All-star, yeah, I
rosters.
was like, all-star everybody. Everybody who's an all-star, we're going to go over on tomorrow's show. Full show dedicated to that. Wanted to do the roundup today, that tomorrow. For Jack McMullen, I'm Peter Apple. We will see you tomorrow. And with that, thank you, everybody.